Hello. It took me a while to be prepared for the stream. Sorry about that. Today, Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis, version 2, the Ultra Evolution update. That happened recently and brought with it a little bit of new story, as well as a bunch of other stuff. They focused a lot on something called creative spaces, which is what this is. A space where you can build, make stuff. And so I did. I tried it out. I did my best. Maybe not my absolute best, but I tried to make something neat, and I think I did. So we've got something neat, I guess. Hello. I'll show you around. I tried to make some sort of like weird, well, slightly weird, like foresty type place, I guess. There's like a little house in it. There's a green screen and a blue screen over here that are a lot less useful than you might expect because of the lighting of them being odd. I might remove them, but also there's just like lots of random plants and whatnot. Some fountains, a very small house. It's fairly empty, but there is a bunny in it. And a screen. But like the main... So I just made like a fairly nice kind of pleasant forest. And then this shrine over here is I think the main cool part of this. Giant cherry tree with a bunch of like lights hanging from it and a little shrine over here. I think I did okay. You can download the shrine if you want. There's also like there's this weird like water mat that you can piece together to form like a weird space puddle, I guess. And then over here we also have my in-joke zone of that one room from Anodyne that I meme about. It's green. Anyway. There's not a lot to show you, really, but I think I did an alright job. It's not like the most creative thing in the world, because I mean, I think the shrine over here is good, but it's not like an outlandish use of any of these parts, really, I guess. Shrug. I don't know. I don't really know what other people have been doing yet, either.
Savert.
That's true. Oh. It seems that something is arbitrarily broken again. Yay, I love that for me. Where is it? God damn it. I was already struggling to comprehend arbitrarily breaking things a second ago, what with or today in general, what with The power like flickered in my house like 70,000 times last night due to a storm. And that made my controller get confused more. So in some games it reversed and whatnot. I really need to like bookmark this thing so I freaking know what it's called. Cause oh right, Reddit's protesting everything. So like most Reddits are private today. So good news, well, bad news good news, sarcastic. I don't remember what the channel points display is even called or how to find it, so I don't think I can fix it ever. Maybe. Or not right now. Maybe. Yeah, it doesn't work. Did I bookmark this somewhere or not? Sorry, the stream has instantly been derailed by a tech issue. Because I'm like trying to Google this desperately and I can't find it. Is this it? This might be it. I think I found it. Let me bookmark this. Oh, no. Callie did say things out loud. It's not that that's broken. It's not the AWU that's broken. It's the notification that pops up in the corner that lets you know that it happened that's broken. The channel, there we go. The channel point redeem pop-up. I want that to exist so that nobody so that people understand why things are happening. And so that I know a channel point has been spent. So I'm not like blindsided by one as much. Anyway. What kind of featured creative spaces are there? Is this too dangerous to investigate? Probably. Let's just go elsewhere.
Karma_Dragoness redeemed AWU Crystal 350.
I'm skeptical. As indicated by saying, Anyway. A few other things happened in this update. First of all, Harper has a different gun. That's because the seasonal gun is no longer as good, probably, but that's not really related to this update. Hello. There's an item exchange over here that's new for Giga Strugments, whatever the heck those are, which is all sorts of things, but also all of these weapon camos of classic PSO weapons, but like in higher resolution, I guess. Like they like remade the models more. So there's like Foul Claw, which I think is, I don't know if that was all electric before. Double Cannon, I don't know if that was all spinny before. The Orochi Agito. The Twin Orochi. The Flame Visit. The gun that Bernie has. The guy who says he has the knack. This is when I start wondering what the localizers were doing. The Gerudo Mira used to be the Gold Milla. And I think it was the Gold Milla in more than one instance, and I don't, unless that's just fan translation sometimes. I don't know why they re-localized it. It's just like Tector. Then we have the Psycho Wand, which is actually a rod, but that's what it's always been. I don't know if it was that sparkly. The Elysium, which used to be the Elysion. I don't know why they changed the name of this either. And that's all of the PSO1 weapon camos for right now. There's also... Oh, you might notice the regular music for this location is playing, by the way. It is no longer an event. I was also incorrect about it being immediately a Sonic event. That's not happening yet. But there's also cell shading that applies to character models. You can see that Harper is shinier than usual and more cell shaded. That is... There's an option in character customization that just makes it apply to everybody. This is Harper without cell shading. This is Harper with cell shading. And then you can adjust the outline emphasis. So you can make like the outline around a character more visible or less visible. And then also shadow density. But I'll just leave things on the default. I think I like the way the cell shading looks, so I'll have that on. And then I'll leave the settings for it at the default.
Come again.
It's a neat feature that they added.
Instead of Sonic Von Hedgehog, the cell shading implies we'll be getting a Jet Set Radio crossover, for reals. I heard it from my uncle bought at Segatendo.
Callie, I don't think you have an Uncle Bot. I don't think there is a Sega Tendo. But also, maybe they will make a Jet Set Radio crossover. I don't know. Oh, okay, you can still exchange leftover seasonal points. That's good because I forgot to spend mine, apparently. Is there anything actually useful here? A crossover with the bouncer would be something. I will simply spend all of the money on scratch
The
tickets.
bouncer.
The bouncer. That's true. Was this an efficient use of my money? Probably not. That's fine, I guess. So, I think it would be, probably. But, so, the story, last time, we went to the floating island of Lucille and discovered that this entire planet and everyone on it was artificially created by a guy who really likes Pinocchio in order to fight Enemy 2. And by that I mean it was a guy named Geppetto, and he made the dolls, and he like engineered a lot of the arcs and whatnot, including us, apparently. And the entire purpose of this was training to prepare us for the Day of Reckoning or the Day of Judgment or one of those, when the Starless would return. And the Starless are like the big new threatening enemy or whatever. And Chapter 6, Part 1 begins with a message that you didn't get to see because it appears as soon as you log in, where one of the operators, I think Ran, is like, all of the Alliance leaders are meeting up to discuss what to do with all this new information. And so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go see what everyone's talking about regarding this new information. And that's everybody. Ilma, the only important person from Kavaris, is here. Nadara. Those two.
So how
Glenn and
was an
Kamui, I think.
experiment?
Yep.
And we were the test subjects.
Also true. But you can see the cell shading applies to the characters in cutscenes as well. It's neat.
But what were they trying to do?
Prepare for an unknown enemy or prepare for the Starless? Well, it's this one. We learned this.
What the hell are these Starless anyway?
They're like the dolls, but like
Said to have
two.
driven humans to the brink of extinction 500 years ago. To have killed 700 billion people.
700 billion people. We're supposed to believe that. Believe it or not, you don't run hundreds of years of experiments for the fun of it.
That's true.
Very true. And that's reason enough to have a serious talk about this.
The first step would be to assess what kind of threat these Starless pose to us.
You have encountered these Starless, have you not?
No. We never actually fought with them. It would have been possible for me to encounter them since they now appear in field areas, though actually I don't know if I have access to those without completing the story.
Yep. All of a sudden, there were like a zillion of them, and Zephedo took off running, but I have no idea what happened after that.
If Zephedo created the dolls as some kind of ARC's training system, then that would mean the Starless are an even greater threat than Dark Falls.
Nod.
Right. But even if they are, we have no idea when they might show up again. It could be tomorrow, or hundreds of years from now.
Well, we did see them appear a little bit.
Too many unknowns. I suggest we focus on a threat we can do something about.
Is there
You mean
one?
the dolls?
Oh, okay, they're still here. They're still active in every region, or are they still being produced?
So it seems.
Seems like it then.
Shouldn't there be some way to stop them? In Lucille, at least?
All the Resurgent ARC's operatives in there escaped at the same time you did. According to them, they claim to have seen a doll's production facility in Lucille's core.
I already forgot
Why are
what
we waiting?
I already forgot what Resurgent Arcs means.
That goes to Lucille's core isn't working anymore.
Oh,
Why?
I like the screen cut diagonally
I can
here.
tell you. It could have something to do with the Starless, or maybe Zephedo did something. Damn it. After all we've done, nothing has changed. We sacrificed so much for nothing.
That isn't true.
Then you tell me what we've gained.
We forged an alliance between the regions of Halpha for one. We gained a lot of knowledge for a second thing.
We've gained tomorrow. And the day after. And the day after that. We have time.
Also that, I guess.
Ina's right. There's a lot we can still accomplish. One day at a time. Ilma, I need you to get that teleporter functioning again.
You got it.
And there have got to be other ways to get to Lucille and to stop the dolls.
What if we just jump really far?
After all, this is just one big experiment.
True. There are Ryuker devices, Trinitas. Might be a chance for us to finally get some answers.
Nod.
Hopefully the Resurgent ARC's crew will help us with that.
I guess the Resurgent Arcs is the ones who were on board
Facility in Stia. Can we not
Lucille.
destroy that?
That's also a good
I
point.
plan to look into that again. It's pretty risky, but we can probably do it if we have to.
But what about the whole destroying it will plunge the whole planet into darkness thing?
Still true. It was built to be an integral part of the energy plant.
Ah, right.
Clever design, I must admit.
Worst case scenario, Alpha loses its power source, and dolls keep getting produced.
It's really weird for Harper to be like moving like she's talking without her mouth moving at all. Did Zephedo plan it this way, or is Zephedo's experiment isn't over?
He's absolutely vile.
Regardless, we need to learn all we can. Moving on. For now, let's focus on evaluating each region's battle readiness.
By the way, where's Manon at? How's Manon doing? Manon had a rough time with everything that we did and saw and learned. She's currently not present.
And of course, stay on alert for any signs of Starless. If we work together, we can ensure that no stone on Halpha goes unturned. Together, we can do this. That was a long meeting. Sorry it took so long.
That wasn't that bad.
Hey, can we talk?
What's up?
Don't you think Manon should have been here for this discussion?
Manon. Well, she...
She's with those resurgent ARCS operatives we mentioned. They're all being kept in custody, for now.
Oh, what? What? Why?
She's done nothing wrong. It would just be best if she lay low for a while.
What do you mean?
The resurgent ARCS members are worthy of sympathy. Especially from those who know their situation. Forced to micromanage Halpha like a bunch of robots from the day they were born. Never even being taught the difference between right and wrong. That said, there are still many people who feel a great deal of anger and mistrust toward them. And frankly, I can't say I blame them.
I guess.
We're still trying to learn more from Manon and Feria. If they can tell us what happened and what parts they played, hopefully, that will bring people around. Still, I expect that it will take some time to smooth everything over.
How long is some time?
It shouldn't be too long. I'll let you know as soon as the time comes.
Okay. I'll trust your judgment.
Thank you. Does that work for you too?
You promise you won't harm
You
her?
have my word.
Well, fine, I guess.
Yes?
If you don't stop her, Manon will just eat the same thing every day. So, please be sure to give her something healthy to eat.
You bet. I'll let her custodian know. Anything else?
I think that's all.
Great. In that case, I'd like to talk about the next steps for the two of you.
We'll do whatever we can to help. Right?
Nod.
Thank you. On second thought, we're probably all a little tired of talking for now.
The meeting really
This
wasn't
is
that long.
Pretty important matter for the two of you. We may want to make sure everything's in order before we begin.
Well, okay then. Could you come back a little later? How about immediately? Are we ready? Now, before we return to the matter at hand, let's go over some general things. Is there anything you'd like to know more about? Sure, we can go over everything. Tell me about Halpha. Our home, Halpha, was a resurgent ARCS testing ground. One meant to produce ARCS defenders capable of combating the Starless. I guess this is a nice recap. It may sound hard to believe, but it's the only conclusion we can draw. Tell me about ARCS. ARCS were created to battle the Starless. I'm sure everyone on Halpha will need some time to come to terms with that. To be honest, not even I am completely sure how to feel about it. Tell me about Zephedo. He's the general of Resurgent ARCS and the one in charge of the Halpha experiment. We don't really know anything else beyond that. After you fought with him, he took off to engage the Starless. We haven't seen a trace of him since then. Tell me about the Starless. A mysterious foe, there's really no other way to describe them. Are they organisms? Machines? Where will they strike next? We don't have any answers. However, they present a greater threat than even Dark Falls. I think we'd be wise to assume that anyway. Resume the meeting. Understood.
Shall we begin? I'd like to talk about what I'll need from you two, going forward.
Sure.
We need to bolster ARC's combat readiness. And, of course, that will involve training new recruits. I can't think of anyone better suited to that role than you, Aina.
Huh.
Me?
That's right.
Me? Train recruits? Are you sure?
Encouragement or surprise? I mean, Aina has learned a lot very quickly, so I think she'd probably be pretty good at it.
Really? You think so?
I'd be there to help out, obviously. Couldn't hurt to try, right?
Can I think about it?
Of course. And now, I'd like to ask for your help.
Is my role to shoot something?
It's a distress signal from the scout team.
I think it's going to be to shoot something.
Oh no, their vital signs are fading.
Oh.
Where are they?
Rezel Forest.
Got it. Dozer, can you take this one?
Yes, sir.
Dozer already had trouble trying to do something in the forest way earlier, but okay. I'm going to.
So am I.
This is what I'm best at, is shooting things. So another thing they added in this update that I didn't really mention is that there's... subclass level up. Let's hurry to Wrestle Forest. They also added new skills. And like the ability to rearrange your skill points for free at any time. Previously with the class skills...
Thanks for stopping by.
Over here, you had to buy a skill reset or an extra skill tree to distribute points differently. But now you can just be like, at any time, which is very kind of them. If only they'd like backported this feature into PSO2 as well, like while they were at it, that would probably have been helpful. I saw someone complain about that once. But no, they didn't. I don't think they're ever going to touch classic PSO2 again. I might never touch it again either, but still. I think they could have just... If they were doing that here, they could have tried to do that there as well. But new ranger skill, I believe, is this one, Rifle Attack Impact. Builds up a gauge when an enemy is hit with the photon art multiple times. Once it's maxed out, a certain number of normal attacks will become more powerful. Which is interesting. I haven't really tried it yet, because I haven't really played. And then there's a new skill like that for every class tree. As well as potencies of various abilities being increased mostly across the board, except for Slayer. Like, they were moving things up to make them closer to Slayer, I guess. And then there's stuff like for the Gunner tree, like the passive PP recovery got better, and like this dodge PP recovery thing applies to the main class now as well. Though it's only like sidestep or twin machine gun weapon action, so it's not really that helpful for me, because I'm going to be dodging with the rifle one. But yeah, lots of different changes. Unclear what the balance of anything in the game is like at this point. Trying to remember how to play the video game's controls. None of these buttons are correct. There we go. That's correct. Wait. It's instructing me to go this way for some reason. which is clearly not the best way to get to the forest. Well, I guess it's not that far away. Might as well. So, when I mentioned my controller, like, messing up, it made a whole lot of things back. Oh, there's Rappies instantly. It made a whole lot of things backwards, because, like, the controller I use is a HoriPad Mini, which is a Nintendo Switch Pro controller, like, offshoot type of thing, that is also detected by the PC as an X-input controller. So for a lot of games, like, it's inconsistent whether it reads it as, like, a Nintendo Switch layout or an Xbox 360 layout, or, like, Xbox anything layout, I guess. And, like, whether it displays the buttons backwards or normal. So, like, the thing that is labeled as the Y button on my screen is actually the button labeled Y on my Switch Pro controller layout at the moment. And because of how everything was already mixed up, and how the power going out a billion times mixed up at least one game, and how my memory struggles with things, I can't tell if my controls are backwards or not. Like, part of me thinks they are, and part of me thinks they were always this way, and I'm just confused because I'm used to a different game where they were the other backwards. It's very confusing, and my brain is, like, rotating rapidly, trying to figure this out, but it's not really working out too well. Hopefully I'll be fine to actually... I never got this Ryuker device. Hopefully I'll be fine to actually just, like, play the game normal. Because, like, is this supposed to be my special attack button? Did I get that backwards? I can't tell. It's very baffling to me. Shrug. It'll be really obvious if Final Fantasy XIV is backwards, at least, because the buttons are laid out in a... See, you can see me jumping repeatedly when I mean to interact, and that's a good indication that something in my brain is backwards. Anyway.
What's waiting for us? Are you ready?
A mysterious hostile force.
All right, I'm good to go.
Dozer's good to go.
Still no intel. Proceed with caution.
Are we going to get a first look at the Starless, perhaps? There's Purple Square.
Something's off.
There's Paper Mario Pixels
Quiet. I don't
around.
hear any sounds of combat.
I remember these from Lucille, so this does seem to imply something's up. Very ominous, very spooky. Yeah, I think my controls are backwards. Hold on. Nope, never mind.
Sir, I've obtained the scout team's combat logs.
Gasp. What happened?
I'm not exactly sure.
Well, what do we know?
I've lost vitals on all squad members that sent the distress signal. I've also lost contact with the squad approaching from the other side.
That doesn't sound good.
Number of enemies.
Unknown.
I see.
Well, We need to hurry.
Yeah. But why would their readings cut out like that?
Stop! We need to regroup. Please, return to base at once.
What? But Crawford...
Mystery creature.
Understood. Alright, heading back.
It'd be really funny if this was like a fake out and there actually wasn't. Watch out!
Aina!
Blah. Well, hello there.
What are these things?
This sort of implies that a lot of the dolls were made like in the image of Starless, because this looks like a Noglyph. Wait, weak to darkness. Hey, my old gun does work out. Neat.
Wait a minute. Are they starless?
Okay, yeah, my buttons are definitely backwards actually.
Like I've seen them before.
I think. Because like this Starless here is clearly in the image of a Noglyph of some sort. And we've seen those. That's where this is. It is unclear how they changed the balance on that rifle ability that I'm using all the time also, because they did say they did. But I don't know what that means. Well, they seem to have a lot of health, that much we know. Buttons are definitely backwards. The question is, do I change them or do I get used to it?
I'm making this easy.
Okay, these are Starless that are similar to other dolls. I see. So all of the dolls are evidently made in the image of a Starless, which makes sense if they're training to, if they're meant to train people to fight the Starless. It makes sense that the dolls are very similar. It also makes sense from a game design perspective, I suppose. That was also definitely new encounter music.
Is that the end? Oh, Dozer!
Dozer needs to get better armor, I think. What do you mean I've acquired the maximum level up bonus? I thought they increased the level cap. Maybe they didn't. Let's return to Central City. Maybe the level cap isn't increased yet, actually. Now, does this seem correct? Yes. Okay, this is right. The controls did get reversed. I'm fairly confident at this point. Anyway. The controls on the menus, by the way, are unchangeable. Also, even though there's not the event, there is a concert ongoing, so we do still get this song interrupting the mood a little bit. I really thought the level cap went up already, but I guess I also thought it was going to be Sonic event already, but it's not. Whoop.
I'm so glad to see you back in one piece. Dozer's being treated right now. He'll be fine. Don't worry. He should be back in action soon.
Thank goodness. And the other Ark's defenders?
They didn't make it.
I see.
So those were Starless. Both squads were wiped out. Even Dozer barely. Well, it seems they don't plan on letting us prepare for them, do they? At the very least, now we know what kind of threat we're up against.
It's like the dolls, but with more stats.
Advanced battle preparations.
Therefore, we should make a gun that's better.
Reminds me.
Central Cannon 2.
We didn't get to finish talking about that thing I need your help with.
I guess Central Cannon was for Dark Falls, so until Starless Dark Falls shows up, it's not really that useful.
In the battles that still lie ahead of us.
Okay, what do you mean by that? Questioning head tilt? What do you mean?
The common denominator at every decisive battle and pivotal moment has been you.
Okay, I guess.
And you just played a key role in defeating those Starless.
Yeah.
You're essentially Halpha's guardian already.
Guardians? What is this, Phantasy Star Universe? I need a screenshot of something somewhere.
Your role as guardian won't be much different.
Main theme
You'll just
kicks
keep
in.
trouncing enemies and helping people out, like you always do.
They also called...
But that should be enough to give us all a little bit of hope.
I think they also called you a Guardian in PSO2 Basic, Regular, Classic. But Guardians, I always think of Phantasy Star Universe first, so pretty much just a new title?
Trust me, the title goes a long way. Of course, I know that this is no small request, but I would be truly honored if you would accept.
I won't let you down.
Thank you. It means a lot.
I like the main theme kicking in here, that's
I have
fun.
some work to attend to. I'll contact you about your next mission later. We still have a lot to do for that tomorrow Ina spoke of.
Alright. Is that it? Can you hear me? Crawford has something to tell everyone. It's not... Please assemble in front of the Central City monitor. Okay. Oh, there's also... There's also new dialogue about... That's fascinating. I'm gonna assemble in front of the monitor first. Also, I'm not sure if there's like a side quest of some kind in Stia that I missed. Because I didn't get like a Stia accessory from a side quest of some kind. I think I might have missed that. There was a notice that's like, once you start chapter 6, everything else will be treated as completed and can be replayed from the quest counter as well, so I can always check, I guess. Why does Crawford want to talk through the monitor this time? Hello, Crawford.
This is Central Leader Crawford. I ask you to lend me your ears. I'm here today to warn you of an imminent threat. Lucille, resurgent arcs. The things we've learned about recently have no doubt come as a major shock to everyone. Though Dark Falls has been defeated,
This is a
our
new
war against
song.
The dolls rages on. And now a new enemy has appeared. The Starless. We recently crossed swords with a Starless vanguard and managed to emerge victorious. Thanks to the same brave warriors who defeated Dark Falls.
Put Harper on the
Though we
monitor.
are
That'd be
faced
funny.
with new unknowns, we have nothing to fear. This threat we can overcome if we stand together and finally restore peace to Halpha. By together, I don't mean only Aelio, Ritem, Caveris, and Stia. We will also need to work alongside our new resurgent Ark's allies. I understand that some of you may be hesitant. It's true that their actions have been the cause of much pain and suffering. But now that they've been freed from Zephedo's influence, they are our enemies no longer. They are our stalwart allies. And it's only by joining hands that we'll defeat the Starless.
They have been preparing for this for like 500 years or whatever.
Offer me your strength, and we will bring peace to Halpha.
Group nod. I guess that's it then. Okay. So when they said Chapter 6 Part 1, they really did mean like an hour. They said that their strategy was to split the story so that there's like a smaller part of it released every 2 months or so. Also, we do still have like dialogue to pursue. So, okay. But I'd also heard that it took like, this one was about as long as Caveris. But Caveris took me 3 hours for some reason, so I don't really know. Seems not quite true. Well, what does everyone else have to say?
Hey there.
Why is Ilma here? Oh, I guess that's fine. Ilma can be here if he wants to.
Yeah.
But what's up? Didn't know you were here, Ilma.
I was called regarding Manon's inquest.
And I wanted to know every detail.
Don't worry, Manon and Feria are both just fine. Their quarters are a little cramped, but they're not being mistreated.
Hey, we're not quite done yet, because there is this dialogue scene stuff going on. As for Pokemon Green, I am not 100% sure whether or not I actually want to continue it. I do appreciate very much that Tam was able to make it work. But Tam has reassured me that I shouldn't feel obligated to continue it or anything as well. So I'm not entirely certain. It did feel like a fitting end in a way. But we'll all think about it.
The same goes for the others.
Let's see how much random dialogue and whatnot there is first. Well, not random. Let's see how many other scenes there are, is what I'm trying to say.
The problem is...
Trouble getting the data together?
That's part of it. They all played a role at the seal, but each one had different responsibilities. And the data's inconsistent, so it's tough to present a comprehensive
Cool
case.
music, Luke.
But what's even harder than that is trying to get on the same page with them. Like when we say, tell us about Lucille, or something, for example. They start going into detail about its construction and its specs and stuff like that. It's almost like trying to talk to a data mainframe or something.
Oh.
Manon was like that at first, too. She'd just reply with the bare minimum. I remember my dad having a hard time with that.
For them, I guess, that's probably just their normal.
But Manon's different now.
Nod.
Yeah, she is. We're essentially having Manon interpret for us at the moment. If we put in the effort, then maybe they'll do the same and come around. At least, I hope so. Oh, and, on that note, we've decided to start calling them Lacelans.
Fair, I guess.
Feelings.
They're not our enemies anymore. Resurgent Arcs is just too loaded, you know? We had to change it.
Makes sense. Lacelan. Yeah, I like it.
I can sort of get the impression that they are, like, constructing these cutscenes a little bit differently now, which is kind of neat. Wait, what? Oh, urgent quests, I guess.
The live concert is complete. Thank you for joining.
Oh, hey, we could see the full urgent version of Dark Falls Aegis, I guess. Though it won't, it's not starting yet. Ilma's over here somewhere.
This is an emergency transmission. We have confirmed signs of renewed Dark Falls activity. We are preparing an interception operation.
We saw the important parts of that fight during the story version of it, so I guess that's not really necessary. Let's go around and see who else wants to talk. Okay, there aren't like limited time quests or anything related to please care about the story this time. Currently, the limited time quests are also please care about creative spaces.
Signs of renewed Dark Falls activity. We are preparing an interception operation. Please prepare to deploy.
This is presumably a non-canon emergency quest because Dark Falls is defeated. I am proceeding in the correct direction. I wonder if there's another... There might be a Ryuker device I never got over here. And that's why this seems so out of the way. The mag is detecting something. Oh, it's a Trainia cocoon. I've done all the cocoons and towers and whatnot. I just never collected all of them again as Harper. In the sense that I never like marked them on the map, but I have completed them before. I guess I can stand on the roof of this one. Oh. There's a secret song on the roof of this tower. I don't recognize this music. This has probably been here since the game began, or since New Genesis began, but I don't recognize the song. The mag is still detecting something. Oh, there is a Ryuker device. Better grab that. Hey, Ilma. You got here fast. I was just talking to you in the city. What you doing?
Huh? Well, look who it is. I was just checking on that environmental control unit over there.
Good options. What? Environmental control unit?
Yeah, that's right. They're those large objects that float at regional borders.
Ah, we know what these are now.
They seem to control Halpha's environment somehow. I mean, we've known that for a while now. But the Lysielans gave us some more info about them. They were saying that these things can even be found overseas.
Overseas? You mean there's more on the planet? Can we go there?
Not really.
No, they're not going to add a new region yet.
This entire island's environment is controlled from Lucille. The atmosphere outside of this island isn't exactly suitable for us.
Oh. I think they made it... I think it is relatively unclear if they are planning to add more regions. Like, hopefully they do, I guess? Because, like, what else is there gonna... If there's never new regions, what does that mean? But, like, hopefully they do. But they just said there's plenty of other stuff on the planet. We just can't go there because you die. But if the atmosphere is controllable from Lucille, and we are allied with the Lysielans, can't we potentially do something about that?
Which means we can't really leave.
I mean, I guess there's probably nothing there to investigate or care about, really, outside of a... As a player of the video game, I want to go to new places and explore sort of perspective. But from the perspective of the characters, there might not be any valuable resources or intel in that direction, so...
Oh, when I use the word island, I'm talking about where we're standing right now.
Okay.
The Lysielans referred to it as Halpha Main Island, or Central Island.
This does establish that there's other regions on the planet, though, and that could be important or plot critical in some way, I'm sure.
Speaking of islands, apparently, Resurgent Arcs created a lot of others besides this one.
This conversation certainly does feel like it's hinting at there being other places to explore in the game's future.
They left most of them empty, from what I hear.
Never mind. They must be talking about the creative spaces, then? Which I meant to bring up. I think it's really interesting that right after we're like, oh, we learned that this entire place is artificial, they also are like, oh, we found a place where you can artificially build whatever you want. I guess that makes sense.
Some of them are experimental islands that we only discovered recently.
Okay, these are the creative spaces, actually. This is, I'm pretty sure that's what he's talking about.
They were called creative spaces, I think.
Okay.
And you can travel to each one of them using Ryuker devices.
I already did that.
Well, as long as you have the right address, that is.
Nod, nod.
Have you ever checked one out?
I already did.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
If you ever make something, I'd love to see it. Let me know.
I made a cozy forest with the big tree. And also there's a weird cube in it.
Show it to me once you're done.
I don't think that functionality exists, Ilma, but I would if I could. Dang conversation getting me thinking that they're hinting at future stuff, but they're actually just like, by the way, there's a lot of creative spaces you can go to. Even in the story, they're telling me about this. Oh. Well, Dozer seems to be okay now. Dozer has recovered enough to go stand in a field and muse to himself. Why is there a mark here? Did I accidentally mark the map at some point? Hey Ilma, what's up? You're over here now.
That's what
Dozer's also here.
Told me. I'm sure it's true.
Hey, what's up? It's Harper.
Very interesting.
Harper is here.
Sup? You know, You should probably know about this, too.
Elma saying sup is weird.
Do you have some time?
I do. Sure.
Okay, great. Though Dozer's heard this all before.
I'll live.
So, we were talking about dolls. I'm sure you noticed, but the Starless share a lot in common with dolls.
I did notice that, and I talked about it for like a few minutes while I was shooting them.
The way they look and move, for example. For example, the ones you fought recently in Rezel Forest look like Pettus and Nogleth dolls.
Nod, nod.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. Dolls were designed to emulate the Starless.
This is a cutscene that is saying basically the same thing that I said when I was doing that part of the story. Okay.
They're basically a simulation to prepare us to fight the real thing.
I guess it's always neat for the game to be like, oh, you inferred something already, and we're just going to repeat what you said. I guess that's like validating. It's a little like, you figured it out, yay! Kind of boost to the mood or something. You know.
Who would have ever thought, right?
But then again, I guess that's also true of all of Halpha. From the plains and swamps to the forests and mountains.
Oh, do you? Also, hello. Did I ever say hello and welcome to everybody? I don't know.
They're modeled after different kinds of planets. The goal was to combine a bunch of different ecosystems.
That makes sense.
To prepare for the Starless in different environments.
This is also sort of implying that we will go to other planets or something, maybe?
The same goes for all the buildings. Trainia, for example. Those have been training facilities all along.
Hence the name, I suppose.
We were using them for the war against the dolls. But the truth was that all along, we were being trained to fight the Starless.
Which means Zephedo was toying with us the whole time.
Like we were some kind of puppets. Or dolls, but like the other kind. Or action figures.
Which is why we need to go back and review everything we thought we knew.
Yeah, you're right. If everything really was so carefully planned out, there has to be some secret to defeating the Starless. Somewhere.
I don't know, shooting them until they die seems to work for both dolls and Starless for me. The old cyber demon strategy. I don't think we need a secret, but nod. I'll nod anyway. It is a little funny. This is like the inverse of the why can't I defeat Xenos and Ranjit in Final Fantasy XIV. This is the inverse of that situation where the Starless are basically the same or very similar enemies that are also defeatable. But then all of the NPCs are getting like trounced readily, more so than they were a second ago. But like for me, it's fine. Iza is pretty good at like predicting stuff in stories. But I don't know if I would say anyone always works out what the plot is going to do. What's up, Dozer? I saw you 10 feet away.
Hey,
Hi. How's your injury?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. I'm just doing a little patrolling. Keeping an eye out for the Starless. We lost a lot of defenders in that fight the other day.
Oh, I see.
I'm not looking to make that a habit.
If you only count successes, there are no failures. I get it.
Thanks for your help, by the way. You really bailed me out there.
Shake head.
Not my best look, though, I'll admit.
You saved Ina.
I didn't think, I just moved. I'm glad Ina was alright. I never should have let the enemy get the drop on us in the first place.
I don't think you can blame yourself for that,
I
Dozer.
was so focused on following orders and returning to base. The only reason we even pulled through is because you and Ina were there. That's not how a squad leader should act. But at least that skirmish got us some intel on the Starless. Now we know how they fight. So we'll never get caught off guard like that again.
They fight the same as the dolls, but like more.
I've gone ahead and shared what we learned with our veteran ARC's defenders. And hopefully, we'll refine our tactics as we get more and more intel. As our guardian, I'd like you to lead them in this battle. Alright, I better get back to it.
It is funny
Starless are a
still
threat. Make no mistake about that.
that they've decided to give the player character the title of Guardian again. I'm pretty sure they did that in classic PSO2 at some point. And also that was the title of the entire organization in Phantasy Star Universe. But I already said that. I'm just repeating myself. Nod. Also, it's kind of funny how the cell shading makes Harper's
Activity confirmed. Please deploy to Central Alpha and repel it.
makes Harper's hair like very, very shiny, but her tails are not as shiny. Just thinking about that. Now, is there any dialogue lurking elsewhere in the world? Let's find out.
Attention all ARCs
None in
defenders. We are beginning
Kavaris.
a counteroffensive against dolls appearing in the Kavaris region. We request the participation of all ARCs defenders.
None in Stia. Though I do want to check if I can. I think the quest counter is. There it is, actually.
Do you need something?
Arcs Chronicles Other.
Attention all ARCs defenders. We are beginning a counteroffensive against dolls appearing in the Stia region. We request the participation of all ARCs defenders.
Okay, I think I've actually seen everything.
Best of luck to you.
And just checking Retim. I guess we could do the, like I said, we could do the urgent quest for Dark Falls Aegis and see the form that wasn't in the story.
Attention all ARCs defenders. We are beginning a defensive operation against a large number of dolls.
But I also don't know if that's really worth
Request
it.
the participation of all ARCs defenders.
What is my battle power? Okay, it's a little bit above that. I don't know. We're not missing that much. The important parts of that fight were in the story. So I guess that's all of the story content for Chapter 6 Part 1 in about an hour and 10 minutes. I was expecting...
Dark Falls activity confirmed.
Yes, I know.
Please deploy to Central Alpha and repel it. We're counting on you.
I thought it would take a bit longer. But I guess not. They really did put most of the focus into creative spaces, I suppose. Oh well. Still not a bad part of the story or anything, and there will be more in the future. And creative spaces are neat. I was able to make this. It's kind of okay. So yeah, I guess that's Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis Chapter 6. Wait. Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis Chapter 6-1 is what I'll call it. So now we have to find something else to do, probably.